beginning of Parashat Tetzei presents us with the very difficult case of a Ben Sorer UMoreh, the rebellious son, this undisciplined child who behaves in a gluttonous fashion, perhaps steals from his parents, perhaps is hanging out with the wrong people, and we're told that the approach we have to take with this child ultimately is we have to kill him. And this is a child between the ages of 13 and 3 months, and this is, of course, very, very difficult for us. How can we say that a child at such a young age has already exhibited traits that is deserving of us killing him, right? And particularly when it's not clear what he's actually done. And the meforshim really struggle to say what he's done that he's deserving of this. Rashi says it's more of a preventative measure, perhaps. There are those who say the problem was the actual eating that he did, right? And everyone struggles to figure out, what did the Ben Sorer UMoreh do that we are killing him without giving him a chance really for tshuva? Maybe he had a chance already. Killing him without letting him grow into an adult. We certainly are familiar with children who are 13 years old as a 7th grader. 7th grade, many people in education will tell you, is the hardest grade to teach, particularly for boys. So how is it that we're not giving this Ben Sorer UMoreh a chance? Ramban suggests that the perhaps sin, or at least the flaw, that's exhibited by the Ben Sorer UMoreh is in the realm of Kedoshim Tiyu. That the Ben Sorer UMoreh has a tremendous deficit in his ability to develop his own Kedusha, a tremendous lacking in his fulfillment of this idea of Kedoshim Tiyu, that we're supposed to infuse everything that we do with Kedusha, and therefore his Avodat Hashem is thus in a place where we don't think it's going to be able to recover. And Ramban goes a little further and groups the Ben Sorer UMoreh with 3 other individuals who also get killed. One is the Zaken Mamre, one are Edim Zomamim, who get killed if they were trying to give a death penalty, and one is a Mesit, person who tries to convince you quietly and privately to do Avodah Zarah. And all of 3 of these individuals, are now 4 with the Ben Sorer UMoreh, get killed. And in all 4 cases, the Torah tells us, and these are the 4 times the Torah says, V'chol Yisrael yishma'u v'yirau, that they'll serve as an example to the rest of Bnei Yisrael. It's not just that they get the death penalty, they have to get the death penalty, and everyone has to know about the fact that they were killed, so they will be warned not to behave in that way. So the first thing to notice with these 4 individuals is that they're all killed without succeeding fully at what they were doing. The Mesit doesn't get killed when you worship Avodah Zarah. You go ahead and you send him to court as soon as he tries to convince you to do Avodah Zarah. You set up a trap for him, you plant Edim on him, and you bring him to court, and he gets killed for his attempts, but not for succeeding. Edim Zomamim, the Gemara in Makot famously tells us, they get punished kasher zamam v'lo kasher asa. That if they had succeeded, if their testimony had succeeded in giving a penalty, in giving a punishment, in causing someone to pay, in giving someone the death penalty, they would not be punished as Edim Zomamim. They would not get the punishment, they would not get the fate that they were trying to give to someone else. So again, Edim Zomamim also only get killed if they did not succeed in what they were trying to do. Zaken Mamre is punished for teaching. If he's Moreh halacha against the Sanhedrin, he will be punished as a Zaken Mamre. Not if anybody follows him. There can be not a single person who follows the teachings of a Zaken Mamre, but if he fulfills all the requirements that would qualify him as a Zaken Mamre, he would get killed. And then we come to the Ben Sorer UMoreh, and again, he may not have committed a crime yet. That's why it's such a struggle among the Rishonim to identify what he did, because he may not have done anything yet, but he's on the path. And in all 4 of these cases, we short-circuit them. We end their lives before they can go ahead and succeed in what they are trying to do or continue down the path that they've already started on. And perhaps the way we can explain this is that all 4 of these individuals really are aiming to destroy one of our major foundations of the society that we're setting up. The Edim Zomamim, the Zaken Mamre, they attack our legal institutions. The Zaken Mamre, who poses a threat to the integrity of the Sanhedrin, by being a member of the Sanhedrin, or within their realm, and openly opposing their psak. We know that a dayan is not allowed to walk out and say, well, that's what everyone else said, but I said differently, right? And Edim Zomamim, right, our whole court system is based on a reliable system of edut, right? And Edim Zomamim, in a more devious way than just a regular lying aid, really attempt to subvert that. And if we don't have that, right, our court system doesn't rely on lawyers, it doesn't rely on physical evidence, it relies on the word of the witnesses. So a system that is rampant with Edom Zomimim, that is rampant with judges who just break off and start giving their own psak, is a system that would fall apart. And therefore we have to nip that problem in the bud. The problem of a Mesit goes after our theological foundations. The Mesit takes advantage of his close connection with you to try to convince you in a quiet and subtle way to do Avodah Zarah. And that, of course, is something that goes back to the first Dibra, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Without that, everything else is meaningless. And the Ben Sorer UMoreh, in the framework that the Ramban is creating, is going after our moral foundations, right? Our moral foundations based on the idea of Kedoshim Tiyu, based on the idea that we're supposed to be people who infuse holiness, infuse Avodat Hashem into every single thing that we do, including the way that we eat. One of the most simple things that we teach children from a young age, both in terms of how we make brachot, in terms of how we eat, in terms of what we eat, perhaps, right? That's something, that's an area where we have an opportunity to become Kodesh. And the Ben Sorer UMoreh is subverting that with his behavior. And therefore, like the Zakei Mamre and Edom Zomimim, like the Mesit, right, he stands as a threat to a major pillar of who we are as Am Hashem, as an Am Segula, and therefore his punishment is so severe because we cannot allow that sort of an individual to remain and to fester within our society. And so that's one approach, perhaps, to this very, very complicated, theologically complicated topic of the Ben Sorer UMoreh. Wishing everybody a wonderful week and a successful week in studying this very, very busy and fruitful parsha.